care to hunt buffalo, haul back their hides, and sell them.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2022 Western drama Butcher's Crossing. The film is co-written and directed by Cabe Polsky, and it stars Nicolas Cage, Fred Hershinger, Jeremy Bobb and Xander Berkeley. Now, the film focuses on a young man called Will, who is he's left Harvard basically. He doesn't want to kind of stay there and go down a certain path. He wants to explore the country. He's got a bit of money in his pocket, and he heads off to find somebody from his father's past to basically request from them if he can go on like a buffalo hunt with them. This guy essentially refuses, so he ends up going to Nicolas Cage's character Miller, who is like a buffalo hunter, and he wants to put together a party to go on a legendary buffalo hunt that will take them quite a long time to get there, but when they do get there, they'll have their pick of some of the best buffalo in the country, and they will be rich beyond their wildest dreams when they skin the animals. So Will agrees to fund this party, and as long as he's allowed to go along and learn and experience from it. This then leads to a tale of distrust, survival, living in the elements, and the strength of the human condition, I suppose. Right, what are my thoughts on Butcher's Crossing? Well, right now, basically, anything with Nicolas Cage in the credits, and I'm there. I think he's on an absolute roll these last couple of years. He's absolutely knocking it out of the park, I think, and we all know, you know, he's had a massive dip in his career, Nicolas Cage, in regards to the quality of the films that he's delivering, but his performances have always been the best part in those movies. He always respects the craft of acting. And this film, while this film I don't think is for everybody, it is a very, very slow burn of a film. Even though it's a Western, there is not a lot of Westerny things happening in it, if you like. There's no real gunplay or anything like that. It is literally more about a story of, like I say, survival and like hunting the buffalo. So much of this film is them travelling, discussions around a campfire, all that kind of stuff, and then, you know, the craft of hunting the buffalo. I mean, there is a message there as well, which the film hammers home at the end, in the sense of, you know, how in the Old West they almost hunted the buffalo out of existence. So there is definitely a message underneath that, which you definitely get at the end of the film. But so you get this, you know, going on this legendary hunt to find these buffalo, and then the obsession that Nicolas Cage's character Miller has once he gets there, you know, is almost like, you know, you've been dropped into this treasure trove that he's been looking for his whole life, you know, this endless, you know, herd of buffalo, and he just doesn't want to leave, which then leads to a fight for survival in the elements for them to kind of get back, and for their sanity to start slipping and all this kind of stuff. So it's an interesting watch, but it is absolutely a slow burn of a movie. Thankfully, though, it is shot absolutely beautifully by Cabe Polsky. I mean, some of the cinematography here is, you know, absolutely on point, and it you know, it is made to look stunningly beautiful at times. And the performances here are all really, really good. Nicolas Cage is... it's more of a reserved performance from Cage. It's one of those performances where he doesn't need to put in his, you know, over the topness and all that kind of stuff. It is a much more dialed back performance. It's very much a kind of performance on par with the performance he gives in Pig. You know what I mean? He kind of reels it back in, and it's a very pure performance by him. And it's odd as well to see him with his head shaved. He shaved his head for this role. apparently. So he went full method here, but he's excellent. Of course he is. It's Nicolas Cage. He's outstanding in the film, and you get this group of four men. So you've got Cage's character, you've got this Will character, you've got Fred, who's like the experienced skinner, and you've got Charlie, who's like the camp guy. So you've got these four guys kind of bouncing off each other, jibing at each other, falling out here and there, and then the slow descent into madness almost, and this lack of distrust when things aren't going well. And then you get this sense of loss at the end of the film as well, and I'm not going to spoil it, but something happens at the end of the film that you would just think would literally send you over the edge in regards to madness, really, after all the effort that had gone in. So it's definitely something different, this film. It's a Western, but it's not a Western, if you like. It's very much more of a drama. And it's superbly made, superbly shot, and it has got definitely a very, very strong message underneath. So I suppose, who is this film for, I suppose? Western fans probably won't find the kind of things they want in a Western film. Like I say, there's no real excitement, there's no gunplay, there's no Red Indians, there's no huge villains chasing around and, gunfights at the Oka Corral going on. There's none of that stuff at all. It's very much a reeled back, grounded Western. So this is more, I would suggest, fans of strong dramas and films that deal with like the human condition and the psychological state and all that kind of stuff. It's quite a nuanced film, really. And even if you go into this film being a huge fan of Nicolas Cage, as I am, doesn't necessarily mean you'll come out of this film thinking, well, that was absolutely magnificent, just because like Nicolas Cage is really good in it. This will attract a very particular audience member, I think. And the sad thing is as well, because of the distributor, which is Saban, I think, Saban Films and stuff. This will probably sadly get missed by many of the, people that look to give awards out and things like that. Because for me, it is getting to that point where you look at this and you think, wow, it's got a lot to say, this film, and it's chock full of beautiful cinematography and very, very impressive performances that sadly I think is going to be missed by many. So for me, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. While I think Nicolas Cage is amazing in it, I do think this is it's a little bit of a struggle to get through at times because of the pacing of the film, and I don't think the film focused enough on the survival elements. That becomes quite a big part of the film, and it feels like they don't spend enough time on it. From my perspective anyway, how they survive in the elements for as long as they need to, that it almost feels like it brushes over it too fast. But definitely worth checking out. I think if anything of what I've said sounds interesting to you, then check it out. For everybody else, you might want to maybe give this one a miss. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you found it useful. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.